All right, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the DenofTruth. It's your boy Tino. Back again with another great episode. This episode in particular, I've been looking forward to doing another episode with someone who's not only my friend, but someone who has been really growing in regards to his art as an artist, someone who's been really growing, someone who I've actually seen the progression, someone who I've actually seen the growth in. You know, I'm really excited to have him on, and we actually had him on one of the first few episodes, so the real DenofTruth people, the real fans will know who this man is. But anyway, so today on the DenofTruth, we got the homie Delawou with us. Delawou, how you doing?
Gee, very good, very good.
You know, it's so weird. I don't know whether to call you Delawou or your government name. You know what I mean?
No, we don't want that. We don't
want the government names here, there. We just call you by the artist names. That being said, you know, and it's sort of weird talking about it because when you're living in the real life, oftentimes you don't see the impact of what's happening. You don't often see, you know, the work that people have been doing. You don't see, you know, you don't really see it because you're just in it. You're just supporting your friends. You're just seeing them doing what they need to do. But I've really seen the growth within you over the last year, and I really wanted to talk to you about it. You know, the last time we did a podcast, I think we were really focusing on. That's when "Take Me to LA" came out.
Yeah. I was just getting started.
So look, I wanted to start off with that. So I wanted to start off with about a year ago. Where were you mentally as an artist?
A year ago, what is it? November. A year ago, I was buzzing out actually because we just finished. Like, I'd only dropped 2 songs, and I was like touring the country with guys that I looked up to. You know, like Kennyon Brown, Donell Lewis, DJ Noise. So they gave me that opportunity early on, and I was like, kind of like thrown in the deep end at the very beginning, but at the same time, I had to like think about how much time I spent on this and how much like I've been looking forward to this, and really just had to like grasp it, take it with both hands, and you know, just kind of wing it the whole way. But it's good. I probably, you know, couldn't have done it with a better group of people around me. You know, I had like close friends helping me. I had those boys, and I think our culture really brought us together easily, like very easy, because we're all like Samoan, and so I think that really helped. But yeah, I was kind of like buzzing out at this time last year because it was all happening so fast. And then, you know, maybe early 2019, it sort of slowed down, and then I was really trying to find a direction and what I wanted to do, because, you know, people started to know who I was. So it was very important. My next move was very important. Yeah, it had to be planned, strategic. Like, me and Mo would be up till like 1 a.m. sitting in the car trying to like figure this thing out. So, you know, it's good. It was good, but once it gets rolling, you have to keep it rolling. Yeah. I think that's the hard part.
And I think that's also the crazy part as well, because at that time I remember you coming on the first podcast we did. I remember at that point you had a great start. You know, you were really touring with some established artists. And, you know, I don't mean to talk to you, but, you know, you obviously grew a lot and you obviously learned a lot from that. But, you know, I wanted to talk about you as an artist and your sort of transition, because that's not very easy.
No.
You know, I think what I've noticed with artists and the artists that I've seen is that, you know, for you to create your own environment, for you to create your own sound, and for you to branch out, it takes a lot of work. And I don't think a lot of people see the dedication, and a lot of people see the sacrifices you need to make to get out of your comfort zone and then try to, I guess, go do your own thing, right? And it's not necessarily doing your own thing whereas you stop associating with people, but eventually you did find your own sound.
Yeah.
Right? So how have you how was that process in you trying to find a new sound? You know, you talked a lot about, you know, it was a great learning period for you early on in your career and development period. But what sort of steps from that time last year have you made to sort of find your own sound and get comfortable with who you are as an artist?
It wasn't easy. I think at the start I was like overthinking it a lot.
Yeah.
I was trying to do too much. And then I just reached to a point where I was just like, you know, can we swear on here?
Of course, we're explicit. We got that E.
I was like, man, I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to make what I like. And I remember I had, so many conversations with a lot of people about it, finding direction. And I took a little bit from everyone. And I sort of just made my decision to, just wake up every day and just make what I feel that day. I think that's the easiest way to do it. But I think a lot of artists do struggle with direction and what to do. But I started to notice that the artists that, started making some noise, they were just making whatever they wanted.
100%.
And we see that with like the Sydney scene now, like everyone's just rapping about their reality or whatever they're doing. So, why can't you tell your story?
Because I thought what was interesting about you guys, especially I'm talking like Kenyan, DJ Noise and all you guys, what you guys were doing really well is that I always say that music is a reflection of your environment. So it's always a reflection of what's happening in society. It's like storytelling. It's like art.
Yeah.
Right? Music is just pretty much artists writing and recording what they see and things that influences them. So what you guys did, and why I fuck with you guys so heavily, especially earlier on, was that you guys were really incorporating your culture and also not being shy of it as well. You know what I mean? Your market base was that, Pacific Islander culture, and you guys were selling out shows. And this for a fact, there's not too many artists in Sydney, or matter of fact anywhere, that can actually book a show. There's a difference between putting out a song and then putting out an Instagram, getting a little bit of clout, getting a little bit of drive. But for you to actually leverage that, get a song out, get an actual target audience, and then go touring around Australia. That's what I mean. Sometimes you don't realize the impact of what you're doing until you're actually doing it. So I thought that was really dope. But I guess also that being said, moving away from that, not necessarily moving away from that, but finding your own sound, I guess you had a lot of growing pains as an artist. So can you just talk us a little bit about, some of the growing pains that you faced and I guess some of the issues that artists face, trying to find their sound?
Well, the main thing like with growth is just experience. And I was fortunate enough to have an opportunity where I could just experience, some things that other artists who've been doing this for 5-10 years don't get to experience. So I was consider myself very lucky. But as an artist, I think most of the artists out there know like you come across a lot of bull crap. A lot of stuff. It's not all rainbows and flowers. And the fans, they'll only see what you want them to see. It's up to you whether you post that story or not. Obviously, you're not going to post the struggles because you don't want to post. You
just want to look like you're popping, man. It's Instagram, man. No one wants to. Imagine if everyone literally posted what they do on their day. So you're talking about going to work 9 to 5, hating your job, sitting at a desk, eating some lunch you don't want to eat. You know what I mean? Going to the gym, looking at yourself like, damn, look at this brother here. Imagine if people actually took the story of that, or took the stories of your studio sessions that you have, listen to a beat, trying to figure it out.
And you can't figure it out. There's 10 times more of those than there is good times.
Exactly.
But we choose what they see. So, but the experience is probably the best teacher of growth. And as an artist, I think you just need to take that risk of whatever you're thinking. Should I put this song out? Should I go to this event? You just need to do it and see what happens. Doesn't work. And that's something I'm not perfect. I still struggle with that sort of taking that risk. And I'm an overthinker, so that's probably 10 times worse for me. But it's to a point now. It's just it's out there. Put it out there. Let it do its thing, and you go from there.
Give your art to the world, man. And even with this podcast, man, sometimes, especially when I started video recording it, I understood fuck, man, for you to put your art around to the world, it's such an intimidating thing.
Being on this side of the camera,
it's completely different because it's like this feeling of, I wouldn't say anxiety, but people are judging your art. And when you're an artist, your art is very personal. Your art is something that you like you said, you overthink about, which is a good thing, I guess, for you to overthink about, but putting it out is a whole different world. And it's dope, even now that you see a lot of I think that what's been good about this year is a lot of people who were too nervous to put out music have started to put out music.
Yeah.
Right, and you can really see it. You can really see the growth of particular artists. Some music may not be for you.
Yeah.
Right, and that's cool. If everyone's liking your music, it probably isn't popping like that. Right, but it's just great to see artists take that risk. And go in head first.
Yeah.
Because fuck it, if you're not gonna do anything, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
2019 was a massive year for. I can't speak on like any other cities, but Sydney was really big. With all the groups that come out, like it just made people more comfortable and more.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe, man, because we're talking about this now. How 2019 was such a big year for people, but I talk to so many people around different states, different areas, and they say the exact same thing. They say 2019, and as I said, sometimes I guess for me and you it'll be a bit different because we're sort of living in it. So for this is like our day to day. We're in that scene. We see the artists. We go to the studio sessions, so we know what's coming out. But for a lot of people, it's like, I'll give you an example. It's like, let's just say 2 years ago, we would literally wait for an international act to come to Sydney. There would be no artists, local artists performing.
It was the same ones coming every year too, and that was like
shout out Tiger, man. Tiger rinsed.
I didn't say Tiger.
He rinsed it. Shout out to him. Get your bag though. YG rinsed it.
Shout
out to y'all, man. Get your bag. Shout out Sean Kingston. Bow Wow. You niggas were here. But that being said, now what's interesting is like, even you see 1-4, you see Hooligan Hef, they're doing some shows around Australia. So many other artists as well. Sampa's doing some shows around Australia. Nook, so many different artists, and they're actually making money touring and going to different cities. And now it's not just like we're waiting for an international act to come to Sydney. Now it's all right. Now we got some domestic acts that are coming to Sydney that can actually headline the show, right? And that growth is crazy because you know exactly what I mean. Where it's like for the longest of time, man, it was just dead.
I remember like 2 years ago, like I've struggled to find an Aussie artist that I wanted to listen to. Yeah. And then fast forward to 2019, you can make a whole playlist of Aussie artists that you listen to, So
and they're all diverse. And and like you said, you were talking a little bit about how, Kenyan and DJ Noise, especially coming from the same background, they really grabbed you as someone, as a brother. This is the homie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what's great in that is that you can see the multiculturalism in that. Think about all the different acts right now that are popping. Yeah, it's crazy how diverse it is. I guess people around the world, they're looking at Australia like, what are these people? Yeah. Like, what are these people? How
diverse? You see the reaction videos.
You see the reaction because I'm telling you, people did not think Australia was like this, and that's the crazy thing about it. Like I was in, where was I? When I was in Zimbabwe, some of my cousins were asking me like, what's good in Australia, and their impression of Australia was just like beach, white dudes. And I had to tell them like where I'm from. I grew up next to an Islander guy. I grew up next to a black dude, a Lebanese guy, couple European guys. It is the most diverse area, and now you started seeing that in the music, and that just goes back to like artistry. You know what I mean? That craft of just documenting, which is crazy. Which I think you did really well. And leading into some of the songs that you released this year, especially the Sydney freestyle.
Oh yeah,
the Sydney freestyle. So I feel like that song was completely different to something that you've put out. Yeah. Right. So can you just tell us a little bit about that song and sort of the direction you were trying to go with that?
That was I know there was just a lot happening in the music scene. People considered me like an R&B artist. Yeah. And strictly that. But before all this, like when I was 16 in my bedroom, trying to make music, I was just rapping every day. Like I remember there was a point, like I think I was in like year 11, 3 months straight, every day I'd write a song a day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I like failed school because of that, because I'd be up like late and shit. But like that's how much I wanted it. But then when like I started doing the R&B stuff, like I liked it, but I wanted to experiment at the same time. Yeah. And that Sydney freestyle, like I had that for a while too. Mm-hmm. Like I held on to it because once it's out there forever. And I was thinking like, man, is this what I want to do? Is it, should I just go back to making my whatever I was doing before? But, I felt like I needed to do it just for me. Yeah, yeah. Just to get it like... Get out of your system. For me, to get it out of my system. And because everyone was rapping and I wanted to rap too. So,
just in your bag, you know what I mean? If you want to flex, just flex, man.
Yeah.
just in your bag, you know what I mean? Just trying to things to shit and get that shit out.
But I also want to show like diversity too. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
versatile. I can, you know. So yeah, I'm glad I put that out.
And why I fuck with that song is that now why I fuck with you as an artist, I feel like you're the early artist that actually has Australian puns. like your
there's a
music,
few out there.
yeah, like your music, like I'm listening to it, especially that the line where you talk about, I think is I always keep the area with me like I'm Bam Bam.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, y'all niggas, did this shit just get out of some of y'all niggas' head? Like even some of your music, it's just that like I just like to see like people incorporating from where they are.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because for the longest, even now, like you know, I think. What's been crazy is that I think over the last like maybe a year we've sort of weeded out a lot of the American influence.
Yeah,
songs.
yeah, 100%.
Though obviously, look, we're sort of in the drill wave right now.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a lot of UK influence.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like right now that is all starting to be weeded out,
Yeah.
and then people are starting doing what you're doing right now, which is actually talking about Australian artists and like Australian athletes, people who are actually in the Australian society. Which is important because how big is Australia? So how many people in Australia? Does anyone know? 23%. Look, Australia's got 23 fucking million people in it.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sure we can find our own, you know.
Like surely we can talk about Australian people who are in Australian culture rather than talking about people who are in a different country where realistically you have absolutely no connection to.
Yeah.
You're just talking about it because that's what you see on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But you don't realize that there's 1,000 other artists here who are putting on for the area. That's what I like about your music. And I think that's really dope.
And that's what I found. Like we went to America earlier this year, and like just with like family or even fans or like whoever's with us, we're showing them like Australian music and what was like popping at the time. You know, like Hooligan Hefs, like 1-4, Pistol P, Enzo, and like they didn't really understand it. And then that sort of made me understand that like the music isn't made for them, it's made for us.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's good. That's the best thing, like, for the Sydney scene or the Australian scene. Like, we're making music for our people to understand. It's not for America to come over and try sign us or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's the best way to build the scene too, the music industry.
And do you think that, I guess, do you think people in the past have been making music not for the scene, if that makes sense? Do you think people
in the past?
Yeah, in past, yeah.
I don't think it was like not for the scene. I think that's just what everyone, like, that's all we knew.
Yeah.
You know, like American music is all we listen to, so it's only natural to make music like that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like now, I don't know what it was, but it's like almost like now if you're trying to make music like that, you're being weird now.
You're being weird now, yeah.
Like very Australian.
Like it's just the change. Yeah, it's the change.
And like, every artist was rapping the American accent before. Yeah. Every artist that's out there that's popping now was doing the American accent before, myself included.
Yeah.
You know, but that changeover is good. Quick, mm-hmm. Rip the Band-Aid off. It's done. It's cool now. You know.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, man. So let's talk about Dangerous, right? So where were you? I know you put out Dangerous, and you got a really good reception to that. I think that was your first video that I saw. Was like, all right, so Thomas is branching out on his own, and Thomas is, shit. I use his government name. Sorry, Dylan.
You've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. So hey, my bad. No, what's it? Cut that out. We're letting people know his government name. So yeah. So this. So when Dangerous came out, that's when I saw Dylan. We were really getting into his own, you know. I saw you really investing in it, because really, if you're not putting the money down, no one's gonna listen to your shit. You know, some people who they put things out and they want people to invest in you, but they ain't putting their own money down. You know, and I saw you really doing that. I saw you really. This was your first push. So let's talk about Dangerous, and let's talk about where were you when you released Dangerous, because that was the top of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dangerous was I wrote that. I heard this song. I forgot what it's called, but it was this UK song. It was like, I can't remember, but yeah, it was influenced by that, and I wanted to make a version for us, like for the Sydney scene. And originally, like the whole song was in a different accent too. Yeah. But I was like, man, I can't release this and sound like that. So I had to go back, retrack the whole thing. Reproduced, like Sephora reproduced the whole thing, and then at that point I was like, that was a tester too, because I do like sort of a little bit of rap there. It's a bit harder. It's not as soft as the stuff I was doing before. So I was, you know, that was probably like the first song that I had full control of in terms of like, I was happy with it by the time I was out. Not saying that I wasn't happy with like LA or the other ones. Yeah. But this was the one like, you know, I stood up and I did it all like I put the direction myself. And the video was big too. Like that was the most straining thing ever, like doing the music video. It was a 2-day shoot and it was with like Maxed Out Films and they're, you know, real professional. They know what they're doing. So it was a good experience. Like you just had to figure it out as you go. Yeah. And like, I remember I kept thinking at this time, like, man, I've never done this before. Like, I don't know how things work. But you figure it out. And then once you've done it, it's like easy, man. Yeah. You could do 100 videos and you know exactly what's happening. But yeah, that was like, I put that out and I didn't really have anything planned after. Hence like a long ass break. Yeah. And that's like, after that song, that's when I started thinking about direction and where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. You know, because at that point I was just putting out one song at a time. So that one song was like important. Yeah. It's that one song is gonna be you for the next 3 months until you put out another song. Yeah. So I really struggled with like the type of music I wanted to make at that time. I even struggled with writing, but you know, eventually you get over it. And then, you know, now I decide there's an EP on the way, and I felt like that was the best move because I could show different things. I could show different things and I didn't have to, you know, put all my eggs in this one sound. I could make 5 different songs and hopefully different people like the different whatever.
So look, you said something very important here, man. Shout out to all my DenofTruth people still listening 20 minutes in. I know who you are too. Because y'all comment, I know who you are. Shout out all y'all.
Why'd your voice get so low? Your voice is
good. Hey, you know, this is sentimental. This is the Tina that y'all know. Jeez. Shout out all the people listening from America, Melbourne, Sydney. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the love y'all been giving me. But anyway, so y'all, you said something very important, and I feel like we gotta get back. We're gonna get back in that conversation. So you said that you got an EP coming on. So when's this gonna drop?
EP. January.
Okay, January
2020.
Okay, so let's talk about the EP. So we don't want to give people too much information because we want to let people eat the sauce closer to the date. But what's the vision behind the EP? What was your sort of mentality when you were creating it? Because we went from last year you coming from Take Me to LA to the top of the year producing You're Dangerous and then doing the Silly Freestyle to you jumping into the top of next year doing EP. That's shout out to you. That's a lot of growth within a year. A lot of artists can't really do that. Have that plan. So let's talk about the EP. So what was your vision behind it, and what can you give us a little bit more information about what's to come?
Well, I've been low key. This is the first time I've probably talked about it. I've been very low key about it.
It's a DenofTruth exclusive. Y'all didn't know.
Of course. I want to keep it to myself. Like probably only 10 people max know about it. Yeah. And half of them are on, you know, production, mixing, mastering and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was very low key. That's why I've been like almost hiding on like social media and stuff. Like I've just been trying to stay in the zone and try, you know, stay working on this. And I was like, I was gonna leave it as a surprise and like just drop 6 songs, but the EP came like I decided to do an EP with Mo. We were on tour actually, I think in August. We're doing the Future Nation Festival, and I like on that tour, like I've never been starstruck, but that tour I was starstruck because not only was I meeting like these other poly artists that I looked up to when I was growing up. Yep. Like I was sharing the stage with them. Yeah. Like people like Swiss, like Peter T, Deech, you know, Noise of course, Kenyan, Donell, Victor J. Sefor, like all these artists I was sharing the stage with and I was buzzing out. Even some boys from Nesia Mystic were massive, man. Mm-hmm. So when I met them, I was like, I was shook and all I was doing was just picking their brains. Yeah. Picking their brains, and then just to see, like, just to watch how they, you know, carry themselves and how they go about, you know, the music thing. I think it was time to, you know, really focus and really, you know, like put 100% in now.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was, you know, I was over here, I was over there, I was doing, but it's, I think I guess I just came to a realization, like, this is what I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a big
with
jump,
the next
isn't it?
5 years of my, like, this is it for me. Like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, for a living. So this EP, like, at the same time, like, I wanted to make it like a body of work too. Like, I wanted to make sense. I think a lot of artists put out like projects and it's just like, just a bunch of songs put together. But this one has like a real theme, and when people hear it, they'll understand even the title. Yeah, it just had to make sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had to listen to the song and understand why the song's on the project and why the project's name what it is, you know. So it was real drawing from like real life experiences, and it is really like what's been happening for me
in your life. And that's a crazy jump, man. I'm keen to listen to it, because from what you're talking about, and especially you can see the passion, man. Like, there's a difference between just doing something as a hobby and then making that transition to doing it full time, because it's like employment insecurity. It's like, you know, some people don't realize you as an artist or someone who's, even if you're a business owner, you don't really know when your next paycheck is going to come in. You don't know what 3 to 4 years it's not solidified.
There's no uni course for this. Like, there's a music course obviously, but that, like, there's no course for being an artist. And
you know, just to see that the growth that you've had and that dedication, because that is a big step, especially the artist and as an artist, because I know a lot of artists who they make music, but for you to really do this shit, you gotta do it full time. Like, if you're not gonna do it head first, 100%. What's the point of doing it? Like, you know, there's some people out there like yourself and some other artists who really do this like full time. For you to be talking to them, for you to have any sort of perspective or any sort of understanding of the music, or to even talk shit, it's like, we really do this full time. It's like it's like a 9 to 5 job. Like, we're not fucking around.
I tried to do something else. Like, I went to uni, dropped out, worked, went back to uni, dropped back out, worked, and then, you know, it just like every time I went to uni or I was working, I was like, man, I can't stop thinking about this.
It's just something in your spirit.
Like, it's not for me, bro. Like, you know, so I tried to do something else, and it's just not happening, right?
No, I can totally understand that, man. Like you said, I went to uni. I've worked. I did literally everything that the government told me to do as an immigrant. I did it, right? and like, I just got to the point where,
don't listen to the government, bro.
Hey, man, you gotta listen to the government, man. They're everywhere in Australia, man. They're in my back pocket. But it gets to a point where you have to actually look yourself in the mirror and you have to stop lying to yourself, right? And I know you know this feeling, where you literally look yourself in the mirror and you have to stop lying to yourself that whatever you're doing is what you want to do, because it's a long fucking life, bro. You're talking about like 50, we got another 50, 60 years. You know? Do we really want to be working in that office cubicle for the rest of our lives? Realistically, you don't, right? So for some people, it's great. You know, I know a lot of people who love working in an office environment and they thrive in it. They're making crazy money. Like, they're living the type of life that they want to live. No, especially when it comes to art, it's like, it's literally exactly like what you said. It's just the love of doing it. Like, you can't hide from it. Like, you can try to like do whatever, but you'll always be
always
directed.
Gonna be in the back of your mind.
Yeah, you're always gonna be directed. And if you fight that, that's when you see. You know, when you see grown people and they look angry. You know what I mean? When you see grown people and they're just like, they ain't got no love. They're looking at you like, whatever you do will never be good enough. It's because they had a passion and they didn't follow through with that passion.
And that's my biggest fear. Like, it's scary doing this music thing. But it's even scarier thinking, like, in 15 years how much regret you're gonna have.
Oh my Lord, that's way
scarier than fucking putting out a song, bro.
I mean, that's my biggest regret. My biggest regret is, like, I'm gonna wake up when I'm 40. I'm gonna wake up in a situation I don't want to be. I'm gonna open my eyes and I'm like, damn, I should have just did this podcast. That's literally, I think that was my biggest drive to do the podcast, was that I knew in about a year's time, if I didn't do it, I was gonna wake up and be like, damn, I've missed the window. You know what I mean? Like, I should have done that. You know? But that's crazy. So look, going back to your EP, so it's gonna be 6 songs?
6 songs,
Six songs. And are they all going to be a different vibe? What type of vibe? What sort of inspiration in creating the EP and the direction you took?
It's hard to explain. It's like they're different songs, but they all make sense like to each other.
Yeah,
in a way. But I did try to make like different songs for like different vibes, different feelings, different, you know, because I feel like the artists I looked up to, artists like, you know, Drake or Chris Brown or whoever, they have songs for every emotion you feel. Mm-hmm. Whether you're sad, whether you're happy, whether you're turning up, whether you're angry, whether you're on the grind, like they have a song for everything. Yeah. And I wanted to be that artist that has sort of that versatility, and not just, you know, there's some artists you only listen to if you want to feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to be that artist. I wanted to be very versatile with my music, and hopefully, you know, it starts something. I'm not expecting this project to be perfect. You know, it's my first one, but hopefully it's a good start.
I mean, it's obviously. I think I have faith. You know, I know this is going to be a good project, and especially the timing that's coming out next year at that time.
Yeah,
next year is going to be crazy.
That was important too. Like the time we're dropping it was very important to the vibe. You know, real Australian summer.
Oh yeah.
January is hot.
Crazy.
So hopefully, you know, it's a perfect time.
I think it will be as well. Like, and I was referring to in regards to the timing next year, and I say this now so everyone can know. There's a lot of Australian artists dropping heat next year.
Yeah.
Next year is gonna be heat.
Yeah.
Next year is the year I have a feeling like people are actually gonna start. We're gonna go through a period of time where it's just Australian artists touring the circuits.
Yeah.
Right, and you see it. I mean, you go to the same events, so we go to these music events, these corporation events. These people are hungry for it, man. They're ready for Australian artists. You know what I mean? They're ready for that push. But the only way we can get that push is that if people or artists keep producing music, right? Yeah. But like you said, timing's perfect, man. Nothing beats summer vibes.
Yeah.
Double Bay, Sunday afternoon. Hey, you know the vibes, man. Like,
but I can see, like, I already know January is going to be a busy month. Like, people are, you know, everyone's loading up for 2019. Yeah. Something about a new year that people feel like that's when they should start. Yeah. You know, start again.
Mm. So, I wanted to ask you. So, how was that working with the new team? So, I know you're working with the new manager, Swish. We don't want to give their government names out to you. So, how's it been working? How's it like been developing your own team? What were you looking for in regards to individuals to be a part of your team?
It's weird because it wasn't that thought out. Yeah. Like Swish has been there since the beginning, bro. Like the start. Like when we were in like Stocky's car park taking pictures. You know, like that's
grinding, just grinding.
And he's like, bro, he's one of the boys, you know. So it's easy. It was very easy to. When it's like people who were there before everything started popping off, that's when it's the best because you know you can trust them. You know everything, like you know everything about him. I've known him since like primary school. We were like probably like 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. We didn't really we weren't that close back then. Yeah. But then as time went on, you know, and even with like, I wouldn't even call it a team. Like it's just a bunch of people that I trust and I know. Like, you know, Kenyan and Don, like they're like my big brothers. Like they look after me. I can ask them whatever. I can send them whatever. They'll jump on whatever track, you know. And they've probably been the biggest like guidance for me. Even people behind the scenes, like Mark Martin's, like he's not my manager, but he acts like my manager.
He helps out, yeah,
and he looks after me, and he gave me that opportunity. Him and the boys gave me that opportunity like very early on, and I was very grateful because people are dying to be on that stage, you know.
Straight up,
and on that lineup. So I know it's just all natural, man. It wasn't nothing was forced. There's no like interviews or anything, like you know. It's all just the boys, like. You know, like even the boys we hang with, like
exactly,
we've known each other since way back, like since school days.
But you know what it is though. It's I always say, man, we need to move together. You can go far. Shout out my homeboy Stanley. We said this in the first podcast. He said, "Look, you can go far by yourself, but you go further with each other." Yeah. Do you know what I mean? 100%. If having people around you that generally care about your development and generally care about seeing you win and seeing everybody else wins. It just makes the process a lot more easier. Yeah. It makes everything a lot it makes everything very genuine. If
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. Nothing has to be forced, and it's more of, I always say, like, people don't gotta do shit for you. Like, no one has to do shit for you. Like, I can just go about my day. I don't have to do shit for you.
Yeah,
But if someone is choosing, all right, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna try to sort out a situation for Dylan, I'm gonna try to sort out a situation for Tino. Like, those people generally give a fuck about you,
Yeah.
and they're not profiting out of this. They're just doing it out of the love.
And that's what I noticed. Like, man, at least 75% of people you meet in the industry, you're probably not gonna like.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's just the truth. Like, that's just been me. But, and that's not saying you won't meet good people. Like, obviously, building a team naturally is good, but you're still gonna meet good people and I think, like, when you start to work with people who mess with you, like, genuinely rather than for the check, like, rather than they're doing it because you're paying them, if they're doing it because they actually, like, fuck with your music and fuck with what you're doing, like, that goes way longer. That relationship is way stronger, and, like, I think it comes out doper too. Like, the work is, like, everyone's putting 100%. Rather than, like, if I'm paying this guy to do this, and he, like, kind of doesn't want to do it. You know, it's not gonna be.
It's his job. He's looking at the situation.
So I guess it's like, it's up to the artist, like, to get out there. I'm not out there person. Like, I'm very reserved. But as an artist, you need to be, like, out there meeting people, showing them your stuff, you know, and really trying to like form a bond, like a genuine bond. And that's where it will pay off, you know.
I mean, that's dope, man. And you know what? We've really seen, or for me personally, I've really seen that development. I've really seen that transformation of you as an artist, as an individual, you know, as well as being a fan of the music and seeing the growth in that. I really think that there's a section, you know, in the Australian music scene for you. There's a space for you for growth. And you know, look, we're really excited for the EP. We're really excited for what next year has to bring. You know, I guess we got to close the podcast out, but you know, I just wanted to end it on a very positive note, on a great energy note. So look, I want to thank you for coming onto the Den.
Anytime, bro.
For everyone watching, make sure you like and subscribe. Cool. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, let's get it. All right, easy.
My G.
No, my G. All right.